Hello, welcome to this third liquid pour video. The first two didn't come out quite the way I wanted them because I failed to develop any cells, or the picture failed to develop any cells. But this time, if you look closely around here, and well everywhere really, there's cells. And what I did different was I diluted the paint considerably more. Before I used this Liquitex acrylic pouring medium as is, but this time I used 3 parts water to 1 part pouring medium, and it made a big difference. So please watch the rest of the video to see how I did it, and I'd be very grateful if you could like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Right, I've got all my paints pre-prepared with the new thinner medium, and I've got this idea to have this chaotic swirl going diagonally across the picture, as I want sky above and below the water surface below. So I'm not bothered at the moment about the top and bottom, just that strip across the middle. And I'm using a combination here of tipping the canvas and using a little wooden stick to sort of swirl things round a bit. Giving it a little bit of time now to settle and generally assessing it. I've decided to pour straight from the bottle sort of neat liquid silver, acrylic silver across it, and again swirled it round a bit. Giving it another little look, and just to finish off here, there's a blowtorch just to pop some bubbles and encourage the cells. So this is approximately 4 days later, as it takes about that long for the liquid pour to dry. It produces a skin very quickly, but under the surface takes days to really dry, and you can't touch it. So I'm beefing up that dark under the water area, trying to get a little bit of a light sort of turquoisey colour in there, but when it dried, the paint was just too transparent. It didn't really work. And I'm giving I was going to do white at the top, but I decided that was just too stark, and so I put a little bit of blue in there just to give you a hint that it's a sky. Now I've cut out the Kingfisher shape on this piece, as you can see, and I decided to do it this way just to get the shape rather than trying to draw on it, because the acrylic has got a very sort of plasticky sort of surface, and it doesn't take pencil well. When that white had dried, I'm now blocking in the main shapes. The idea with this is I'll start off crude and then keep on refining as I go. And you can keep going forever, but at some point you have to decide when to stop. The colours I'm using here are on the mid to dark side of the picture, as the lighter highlights will come last. All this I'm doing freehand, as I didn't think it that important. I followed the reference photo absolutely exactly, because no two birds are the same anyway. Now I'm on to the second layer here, starting to indicate some of the details. The wings on the photograph were a bit blurred actually, so it was difficult to see exactly what they should look like. I didn't want to replicate the blurred effect. As you see, I'm trying to work on all areas of the bird and not getting bogged down in too much detail in one area. I just want the whole thing to develop together. I'm still concentrating on darker colours. I decided there that the wing was a bit too dark, and so I put a very watered down wash over the whole thing to try and knock it back a bit. When I mix a colour, before I've finished in the area I start, I look around the whole bird to see if that colour's in use anywhere else. Painting this way, where you try and paint the whole thing in one go and slowly refining it as you go, really helps to unify all the colours. This bird has thousands of tiny little feathers, but I'm only giving an indication of them, as this one won't be high photorealism. I thought a slightly looser version would suit the picture better. Right, now the first sort of real highlights are going on. After you've put some highlights on, you can better assess the colours everywhere else. Right, really getting into some of the finer detail now. I won't go much further than this. As I say, I didn't really want this to be a really photorealistic bird. Right, now onto the poor unsuspecting little fish. This again was totally freehand. I didn't see the need to draw it out properly. It's quite a simple shape really. I'm not actually using white here, it's a light grey. I start by putting in the larger colour areas, and in this case it was black, and I've still got black on the brush here, but it's watered down so it looks grey. Same as the bird, trying to paint all areas more or less at the same time, slowly refining it as you go. Starts to come alive once you've done the eye properly. Looking at the reference photo and just spotting the various colours and just splodging them in. No need to be super accurate. And just some final highlights. Right, signature on, so that means you can't touch it after that. And here's the final result. Hope you like it. It's something a bit different for me. Thank you for watching.